All right, here we go. Episode 2. This is going to be a video on being a manufacturer versus being a YouTuber. And why the hell would you want to manufacture furniture when YouTube's so much easier? It's pretty wild. I'm going to turn this light on. So anyway, grab a beer. It's about 5 o'clock. It'll be time for another one of those. It's a leg lamp behind me. I'm a big fan of Christmas Story, National Lampoon's Christmas, all those kind of things. Product of the 80s. Anyway, yeah, why the hell would you want to manufacture furniture? So let's talk about the difference between being a YouTuber versus being a furniture manufacturer and all the bullshit that you have to deal with when it comes to manufacturing furniture versus how everyone's doing on the YouTube. So I went in and I pulled up a bunch of people that I follow on YouTube, and I thought that would kind of go through what they're doing and kind of explain to people how this business model works versus the business model that I'm employing right now, and why I choose to do this. And truth is because I'm not a YouTuber, right? A lot of people can do that YouTube thing and they're really good at it, and more power to them. But let's talk about it, the differences, and hell, maybe you'll want to be a manufacturer too, but it's really hard. So anyway, let's start with my business, the Resplendent Crow. Okay, click on here. I'm going to pull this, grow this thing here. All right, so this homepage. That's what I do. So I have literally hundreds of pieces of furniture. I make probably 40 to 50 different kinds of furniture. But if I go to, hell, I'll just go to ready to ship. Let's see what's in here. All right, so ready to ship. So I got this credenza right here. So this credenza is something that I build. I probably build 50 to 60 of these a year. So let's say for about $5,600, right? So every time someone orders one of these, I physically have to make it. I have cabinet makers that can do this stuff for me, or I should say I did. I just hired someone and I'm teaching him how to build cabinets because it's easier for me to teach this person than it is to hire someone, believe it or not. So anyway, so my job as a furniture maker is to have the tooling, the drawings, anything that my builders are going to need to fabricate this particular piece of furniture, but I have to do it every single time, right? Now, the margin on this particular piece of furniture is probably close to 100%, which makes it a real moneymaker, right? So let's say at the end of the day, if this thing's $5,600, let's just say I make $2,000. Maybe I make $2,500, right? But we're going to call it $2,000. Okay. Now we're going to go over to, let's go look at, who's the first one we got here? This is Matthew Peach. I follow him on YouTube. Good dude. Anyway, what he's selling is he's got a lot of videos here on how to sell like little cheap things for big profits, right? So he's got, let's see, one of these. Let's see here. He got trending woodworking projects that sell. So he's obviously on Etsy, I believe. And Etsy is a whole other thing. I do a whole video on how to sell on Etsy. I got off of Etsy because I sell expensive stuff, and Etsy really doesn't want that. But anyway, so we got the ultimate compilation of concealment furniture builds. We got 7 basic tools you need to start woodworking. Highest profit yet. He's selling this little, looks like some kind of a birdhouse, right? Pretty cool. Anyway, teaching you how to sell, or excuse me, how to make easy things and sell them for big profits on sites like Etsy, which is really cool. Okay, so what this guy's doing is he'll take this birdhouse that he's made here, and actually, hell, we're just gonna click on
what does that tell me? Welcome back, guys.
Pause that. So this,
what does that tell me?
What we have here is he's going to have this birdhouse, right? He's going to make this birdhouse. He's going to do a video on it, right? And he's going to sell a drawing of it, or a plan on how to make it as well on his store. And he has a store over here. And he has all these plans over here. And, here's this covered bird feeder. I don't know if this is the same thing, but, right, this is kind of what this guy is doing here, right? So he's making money on the video, right? So this video, I don't know how many views, 111,000 views, okay? So a good rule of thumb for thinking about videos is if you get, say, 100,000 views, right, that's probably going to be somewhere between $400 to $600 in ad revenue, okay, for that particular video. As I understand it, I could be off on those numbers a little bit. But the other thing that this guy's doing is I believe he has sponsorship. So here, if you go over this collaboration here, let's see here. Nope. This is where he's soliciting companies and other people that are in the woodworking space that want to work together, which is a great way to grow your audience. Let's try partners. So partners, okay, so now we got Craig, we got Carhartt, we got these mask company eyewear. So clearly he's getting sponsorships, right, which pays really well as well. So this guy's, if we were to look at his profit and loss statement, you would have things on there like ad revenue, and you would have things, sponsorship type income. if we looked at cost of goods sold, he would have not very much, right? Maybe he buys some tools, different kinds of tools, but odds are his sponsors are giving those to him, which is works out differently on your profit and loss statement. So anyway, the bulk of his revenue is going to come from clicks, advertisements, and sponsorships, right? And maybe there's some building furniture on the side or building little projects that he sells on Etsy. He probably has some Etsy income as well from selling some of these things that he makes. So that's how his profit and loss statement works, okay? Now let's look at, let's go over here to this particular credenza, all right? So when you look at, when I make a credenza like this, I mean, obviously I'm not going to make a video, or I haven't made videos. I may in the future. But the way this breaks down is I have to buy the plywoods, right? I got to buy the hardwoods. I got to buy the hinges, the slides, all these kind of things. In order to, I got to buy all the paint. I got to pay the painter. I got to pay the cabinet maker. So I've got all this cost of goods sold, labor, things like that, right? Then I have to deliver this piece of furniture. There's a whole nother line item for shipping, right? And we have to ship this thing, say it's going to New York, which is where a lot of furniture goes. So you're going to have all these costs, you're going to have hotel stays, food, gas, maintenance, COIs, taxes, tolls, a myriad of things that go into producing this particular piece of furniture, right? This is one of the reasons that a lot of companies farm this stuff out to the third world, right? So they don't have to deal with any of that shit, which is a whole other discussion. I'd love to do a video on that. So anyway, so when you look at my profit and loss statement, you're going to see things with all the materials, right? You'll also see tools, right? But except I don't get tools as gifts, right? I have to buy those tools. Those are investments, okay? Which, they're depreciating assets. So anyway, so the profit and loss statements are very different, okay? Now, the other cool thing about making YouTube videos is that, so if you sell that, if you make that video, right? That video can be seen an infinite amount of times. As long as it's on YouTube, it's there forever, right? Which is one of the reasons I'm starting to make videos. When you put a plan out there, that plan is out there probably in PDF form forever. You can sell it an infinite amount of times, okay? Every time I sell one of these pieces of furniture, I have to make it. Okay, so that is a huge, huge disadvantage to making furniture. But it's one of the reasons I do it, because there's not a lot of people out there that do that kind of stuff, okay? So let's look at one other person here. I got this, we got 731 Woodworking. Right, this guy seems like he's a pretty good dude. If you go to his website here, we got a lot of these woodworking plans. Got some tool deals here. My guess is there's a lot of discount codes, sponsorships with big names like Ryobi and DeWalt, Cobalt, and this guy's doing lots of that stuff. Yeah, more tool reviews, stuff like that. And anyway, point is that all these people are in the let's see here. So I got this guy's stuff pulled up here. Got to go through a lot of junk to get to his page. There we go. A lot of these people are making money on content. They're not actually making money on furniture, right? Which is fine. You make money however you want. But there's not a lot of people on the internet talking about how to make money as a furniture maker or a legit manufacturer, because it's so hard. It's not the most palatable content. Another thing, look back here. Go to this other. Sorry, I'm learning how to do this. All right, let's come back here. So if I go back to my page, go back to the Resplendent Crow. So the idea of making a piece of furniture takes a ton of time. It takes a ton of time. It takes a lot of people. It takes a facility. It takes insurance. It takes all kinds of things in order to get that thing made and then delivered to a customer. You have to deal with EPA compliance, OSHA compliance. You have to deal with all the tax laws, not only on the federal side, but the tax laws on the state side. Every time you sell something to an individual state, you have to pay tax to that state, which is a whole other set of complications. So there's not a lot of people making furniture because it is so damn hard. And maybe we're going to come back to doing more of that, with this whole election thing. I think that maybe we're going to see a little bit more American-made furniture in places other than North Carolina and Michigan. So we'll see what happens. But I thought this video would be kind of fun just to show a little bit about the difference between people that make things full-time versus people that make content full-time, and how much easier it is to make content. Now, the truth is that the people that are really good at making content, there's not very many of them. I mean, they're the 1% of the 1%, and that's why they're successful. Furniture making, it's kind of the same thing. You got a ton of people that love to make stuff in their garage, and that's cool. That's where we all started. But when you move out of your garage into facility, now you've got rent every month, you've got insurance every month. It's not part of your normal mortgage, so it's a big commitment to be able to do it. And again, I think most people just don't want to deal with it because it is so damn hard. So again, I'd talk about this for a minute. I thought it'd be interesting to people to see how a actual manufacturer deals with making furniture versus how YouTubers talk about furniture and show people how to make furniture and things like that. It might start a cool discussion about the topic. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video. And if there's any more questions or you want to see particular things talked about as it pertains to making furniture, please let me know. And I'm going to continue to make these videos. I'm going to try and make them, fairly short and sweet. And we'll just keep cranking this thing out and see what happens.